Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and you're about to listen to an interview we conducted with Fabio, guitarist of Norwegian folk metal band Trollfest. This is ahead of the release of their brand new EP, Happy Heroes, out on March 19th, 2021 via Napalm Records, a 4-track EP that includes the brand new track, Happy Heroes, as well as 3 covers of iconic positive and happy tracks. In this interview we discussed those particular tracks, what interested Trollfest in covering them, as well as Fabio's own history and how much of a musical nerd he is himself. Sit back and enjoy. Thank you very much for taking time to speak with me.
It's gonna be, I'm pretty excited. So.
No worries. Well, first things first, how are you? How have you been holding up?
I'm pretty okay. To be honest, it's been pretty okay too. Like, of course, things that have changed during the last year are definitely a lack of gigs and playing live.
Of course.
But beside that, my life hasn't really changed that much. So I'm just doing the same things I'm doing, except I'm not doing it in front of people. Which means band-wise, we've been using the time very, very constructively, since we haven't had any time to focus on playing live or anything like that. Sorry about that, I'm just gonna...
No worries.
Since we haven't been, of course, able to play live, we had other places to focus our energy. So we've been pretty busy writing new material. Our new EP is coming out in not too long, so and that's not all we've been doing, to say it like that.
Yeah, of course. But it has been, as you say, a very, dare I say, interesting 12 months to be in a band. As you say, you've lost your live experiences. How much, I guess, in both a positive and negative way, has that affected you guys as a unit?
As a unit, yeah, that there are, as you say, both positive and negative sides to it, definitely. The positive side I already mentioned is that we have a lot of time to actually work constructively on writing new material and doing preparing for when everything opens again, so we have a lot of stuff we can dish out immediately. But the negative is, of course, in addition to not being able to play gigs, is not being able to properly meet all of us together. There was a long stretch of time where we didn't meet at all. We only just recently got together, not even all of us, for the first time in a long time. And that felt really, really good, actually.
Oh, wow, I'll bet.
It's incredible how much you miss just being in the same room, more than 2 people, and playing instruments together.
No, that's completely understandable as well. But would you say that you guys, in the time when you obviously couldn't meet up, that you were able to take advantage of modern technology, as it were, and be able to video call and so on?
Yes. We haven't done as much video calling, but since we've been busy working on new material and recording material, it means that most of us have gotten together. For example, me and Mr. Seidel, our other guitarist, when we recorded the guitars for an upcoming release that we haven't disclosed yet. We basically got together, just the 2 of us, and worked really, really closely with each other. So when you are not able to get together more than 2 of you because of Corona, obviously, it got very, very, as I said, intimate, and we really synchronized and had a deeper communication about what the material is about. So that was, I guess, a positive for me.
Absolutely. And I mean, considering you were basically forced to work a little bit different here and there, is there anything from it, this period, that you thought, wow, we really like that, we might continue to do that going forward?
Yeah, there's it's kind of strange how, of course, limitations breed creativity. And often when you're limited in ways that you normally would think inconvenient, or of course are inconvenient, you have to think different about the solutions of it. And humans are creative creative beings, so we always find some way to do what we need to do. Often we need to be pushed, forced to do something a different way in order to even realize there is another way. So one thing I noticed definitely, and I think is going to be a huge part of the future of social media when it comes to bands and their outreach, is live streaming.
Yeah.
Since the entire pandemic happened, there's no doubt about it. The live streaming thing has just exploded. So many bands are doing live streams, and that's not something I see disappearing even when concerts are gonna happen.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, well, we in the band ourselves at least noticed that it's not really that hard to do if you have a good internet connection. So we're already thinking ahead of maybe doing more regular live streams, both Q&As and maybe even hooking up microphones to the drum kit and doing full concert live streams from our practice space, which is in today's technology extremely possible. It's just about doing it. And I definitely, as I said, I think that's going to be part of the future for sure.
Is it a necessity, or is it actually, do you guys enjoy it?
Yes, I would say that's in this band enjoying everything is a no-brainer. If we don't enjoy it, there's no use in doing it. And that's what kind of I think is the spirit of the entire drive behind the band is let's do some fun stuff, and just if we're having fun, apparently others are having fun, and it's contagious somehow, so let's focus on doing that.
Contagious, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of it seems very obvious to us at this point that everything we're doing needs to have its root in actual pure real joy and enjoyment from our side, and that's been a strong part from the beginning of the band. The entire let's fucking just take it easy, not take ourselves as seriously, and do all of the stupid shit that we always want to do.
The most perfect statement ever for being in a band, I think that.
Yeah.
But you guys, as you said, you guys have kept busy during this. I mean, earlier, late 2020, of course, you joined Napalm Records, the roster on that, and
yes,
that was a big deal, right?
For me personally, of course, as you might know, I am the newest member of the band, so I haven't really. I joined basically at the start of the promotion of Norwegian Fairy Tales, which was the last record under Noise Art, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
So I basically joined the band and did everything when we were pretty much on the lookout for a record label and not really signed to anything in the future. So for me, it was probably even a bigger step than for the rest of the guys, or maybe that's I can't speak for the others, of course, but I came in unsigned, and then first thing, this is basically also my first record deal. So I come from nothing to signing a Napalm record deal. It was pretty big for me, and also getting the first prints of the Happy Heroes EP and looking at it, it's quite a big feeling, definitely. And of course, for the other guys from Noise Art is of course has done good for the band, but I can definitely sense some excitement in some of the more senior members of the band about all of this happening. And I think we already, even though they can't promote us doing gigs and stuff like that, sadly at this point, I think we have noticed a difference in how we're being fronted, and it's very promising.
Absolutely. Like, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, of course. Happy Heroes out March 19th. 2021.
Yes, as far as I remember. Always, it's the thing with me always when someone asks me, when is this happening? When is this happening? For example, when we're going out on a gig, I have this girl, you know, and I always have to ask her when, okay, do you remember when I'm flying out to Finland? So I'm just a small-brained musician. I can't deal with all of the dates and stuff. I just play guitar. But
I don't think that's fair to quite put it that way, considering what's come out already from Happy Heroes. Let's start with, obviously, the title track first. Yes. And, of course, that incredible video. Very attention-grabbing.
Yeah, that's... thank you for mentioning that. I think... Jon Espen, Mr. Seidel, our in-house animator. He spent a long time doing that because he's basically working on it on his own. The only thing he can work with from our side is ideas. So every single movement and everything you see in the animations is done by Mr. Seidel, which you can say I appreciate more than just a little, because animating something like that is an insane amount of work.
Yeah.
And he's not getting paid a single dollar for it, or pound, as you can say. So he's doing it just for the love of it, and that's something I admire incredibly in him. He's quite a creative force in the band.
You must have been blown away when you saw the end result.
Yeah, he has such a great eye for, or great focus on details. If you watch the video in just 0.5 or at 0.25% speed, for example, you see so many details that just go over your head when you just watch it one time at full speed. It's pretty incredible. So that was definitely, I think, a success. And yeah, the song itself was actually something that was left over from previous cycles that didn't quite work on, for example, Norwegian fairy tales. As you can hear, if you compare Happy Heroes, the sound of that song, to anything on Norwegian fairy tales, it's not, it wouldn't quite fit in. So
that makes sense.
We decided to take it on to the next release, and it just there was no discussion about it. It was just, this is definitely the song that's going on the next release. So we stuck with it, and yeah.
It totally makes sense, as you say. This is particularly an EP where the word happy is very, very important, and I think most seem to see that come through on Happy Heroes, the title track specifically.
Yeah, it definitely has that just, come on, let's grab life by the balls and enjoy ourselves feeling, to say the least. It's I come from a background that makes you could say a lot darker music. I'm pretty much a death metal kid, and it's just incredible how freeing it is, kind of, to be able to play still really heavy and good metal, but just breaking those taboos of being always dark and all of that stuff. It's very, very interesting. It's not something I would have thought I'd ever experience. It's a great feeling.
Absolutely. And it ever kind of cross your mind that obviously the release being quite positive songs, the covers and so on, that would be really useful for listeners during, you know, the times we live in now and people getting fatigued with lockdowns?
To be honest, the thing is, we came up and recorded the EP before Corona. We finished everything in 2019. So it's almost like a joke from the universe that kind of just at the time we're releasing something that's just extremely positive. It brings down this really dark curtain on all of humanity. So it was pretty much the right music at the right time, it seems, somehow.
Incredible, like fate.
Yeah, pretty much. It's great timing. I think it seems like people really need some positivity in their lives, to say it like that. If we just make one person's life slightly more bearable during these, you're just trudging through the same stuff every day. If we're just lighten that for one person, and it's all worth it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So the covers. Let's start with Aqua's cartoon Heroes. Are you Aqua fans?
We are in general fans of music. I think
Fair.
all of us have extremely fluid musical tastes, and in my opinion, my personal opinion, for example, is that there is music that has soul and there's music that doesn't have soul. And if someone puts everything into their actual soul into the music and tries to make it the best they can, it will show.
Yeah.
And that comes through in any type of music, from being pop music, which often bears production-wise a lot of soul, because those people producing the music are the real artists behind what you hear. Pop producers are incredibly talented producers. So that's something, of course, we as musicians, we listen to different things necessarily than just the music itself.
Of course.
We listen a lot to how it's done and stuff like that. So I would say definitely we chose that song for a reason. It has, of course, Aqua has maybe not the universal appeal amongst metal fans, but that's kind of the Trollfest way, I guess. We do things that people don't expect.
I think it's an inspired cover because, let's be honest, people see any band covering Aqua, they expect it to be one song only, and it begins with a B. So it's not that.
Yeah. Yeah, we also, of course, it was definitely because of the theme, the Happy Heroes theme, that we had the heroes. Let me see here. I'm looking at the LP right now, and let's see. There are 5 words on 4 song titles. It's just a combination of happy and heroes. There's don't and be and work, actually. It's, the cartoon heroes cover was a lot of fun to work with, because you never know what's gonna come out when we decide to cover something. We have no idea. There's no clear vision except of the sounds that we naturally create, other than the original arrangement. So,
do you find that you kind of, when you're going to do these covers, that you play the track as it's kind of supposed to be played originally, and then you just start adding bits here and there? Someone comes up with an idea.
I think it's a combination of all of basically. we mostly let every member decide to do it their own way, so they can digest the material just the way they like, and we just pretty much trust in everyone doing what needs to be done. And of course, it starts with mostly usually the drums or the guitars, and then we build on top of that. But being a band with so many members and so many different elements going, it seems to be a process that works pretty well, because we don't need to do not every member needs to do something extravagant all the time, because there's bound to be keyboards and saxophones on top of that at any point is doing something interesting, no matter what, because of all the layers. So
absolutely,
we don't have to actually stress it that much. The combination of sounds and musicians just really works naturally.
Yeah, and of course, there's no secret. You know, it's not like Trollfest has been doing this for 2 years or 3 years at most. It's been a long, long time of gelling.
Yeah, definitely. The guys have been doing this for a long time, and when I came into the band, Happy Heroes was the first release I actively worked on with them, and you could definitely sense that they had a strong grasp of exactly how to take steps to get everything done. And I felt how it's funny how such a band that doesn't take itself so seriously really is extremely serious about delivering quality, and how serious everyone takes making the recording process and everything better every single time, improving everything. And when I came in, it just felt so natural. It's been amazing working with the guys.
Well, that's great. And continuing then with the cover side of things, of course, you've got Bobby McFerrin's iconic "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah, the infamous.
Yeah, I was going to say there must be a certain level of trepidation when it came to covering this one.
No, not really.
Okay, you were confident. That's great.
It came just as natural as everything else. The thing is, we kind of we don't want to be 8 cooks in the same kitchen, you could say. So we usually split up the situation at hand, which in the Happy Heroes EP, of course, was the covers, and give different people different things to do. For example, on Don't Worry Be Happy, Trollman Jostein did the skeleton, you could say, of the song. He did the basic tracks and set the first tracks the others record on top of, you could say, if that makes sense. So he just did some vocals with some whistling and some xylophones and all of that you can hear. And then we tracked our stuff on top of that, and it was just as simple as that, very, very straightforward. And again, as I said, it's weird how we don't really think too much over it. We just kind of make it work, and it is completely out of our control how it actually turns out.
It's incredible.
It's a very painless, natural process.
It's incredible that, we're talking through the covers and we've gone from Aqua to Bobby McFerrin, and then, of course, Pharrell Williams with Happy.
Yes. That was definitely for me, an interesting experience, because after doing a tour for the guys and getting very close to them and joining the band for real, they asked me if I wanted to basically take control of that song, just as Trollman Jostein did on Don't Worry Be Happy. So
Awesome.
that was my first foray into writing with Trollfest, and that was again extremely painless. I was very nervous, of course, when I delivered my first tracks, because I have my own sound, and when I write music, it's very obvious that it's my music, if you can say that, or to me at least it is.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if the guys would accept it into, like, does it sound like it could work in Trollfest? But that's exactly when I found out how easy it is to work with within this band setting, because they were like, oh yeah, this is perfect. And then immediately when the saxophone and all the keyboards and the vocals came on top of it, it just works. It sounded like Trollfest, and smooth sailing.
Absolutely. And of course, the original is, I mean, it's a modern, iconic track. So, when it came to you doing your version and you're working on it, what specific things were you looking at that you wanted to make different and Trollfest like?
The thing is, I was kind of one of those persons who got really, really sick of that song when it was out. So when they basically, we decided that I was gonna take that song, it was like, how will I deal with working for hours on end on a song I originally don't really enjoy? Which was kind of paradoxical given the theme of the EP. But it turns out, of course, as everything, if you look a little bit deeper, there is beauty to be found in many places, and it's actually the song itself is really well written. And when I went to transcribe that into metal, I didn't have to really overthink or try to change things that much, because all of the key points of arrangement were already very well ingrained in the original song, like the rhythmical stabs and stuff like that. So yeah, I myself I've been transcribing music for since 2004, I think.
Wow.
I have not really used tablature, for example, when learning anything guitar related since that time. So I'm
Well
very,
versed.
very keen. I would pride myself, I would guess, in having a pretty keen ear for how things are arranged, because I've spent so much time just listening to things and learning it by just using my ears.
You're a student, basically, of music as much as you are an actual musician.
Oh, I'm definitely what you call a music nerd, for sure. Which, definitely music is the most important thing in my life, without a doubt.
Absolutely. So, continuing that then, and the fact that you have to be nerdy about something else these days, which is the social media side of things. And I think people will be quite surprised to see that you guys are quite active on social media in replying to comments on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you enjoy this interaction, the social media side of things?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I also even enjoy hate comments. There was a really funny one. What was it? I think it was on the happy "Don't Worry, Be Happy" video, where someone commented "the shame of Norway." Basically.
Yeah, I saw it.
I love that. But yeah, for the most part, interacting with people is. I love interacting with people who also share a common, I guess, sense of just trying to enjoy life while we have it. And fans are just people who want to have fun together with us. So let's do it.
Yeah, But how do you handle the pressures that come with it, you know, the expectation that you must be always active, be it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and so on? There's so much of it.
That's, again, it's really hard when you're a band with so many members. Not everyone knows what, if someone asks a question about booking or whatever, then not everyone really feels secure about, do I have like the authority to properly answer this? So sometimes it takes a little bit longer so we can sort out who can really say things, but that's definitely being very well taken care of by by our management for the most part, luckily. So aside from that, yeah, exactly, they're great with that, so we don't have to hassle as much with that part, really. Mostly we just answer people on YouTube, and since, again, we're so many members of the band and everyone has access to our social media, we can spread it out. Not everyone has to go in every day. If 7 members do 5 minutes every second day, that's a lot of comments right there. So
absolutely,
we're sharing the work.
So you've kind of touched upon it at the start without actually saying anything, but it feels like, and appears to be, that Trollfest are going to have a very busy latter 2021 and into 2022. It's just interesting. You just never seem to stop. Do you guys ever feel like you need to take a break?
Take a break? Of course, everyone in life asks themselves, what's the purpose? What am I actually doing here? But in the end, I would say, as long as it's so much fun and we don't... the only way it can, like... The only way we I guess we would say, this, we can't do this anymore, or let's take a break, is if it's not fun anymore.
I guess
I would say it's definitely fun. So that's pretty much where, again, as I said, the drive behind the entire thing comes from. Let's have fun. Let's take our music seriously and work on that while having fun, and it's gonna be good. And endless inspiration comes from enjoying life. There's so many things to enjoy. So let's keep on doing that.
Absolutely. Why on earth slow down, or as you say, would stop if you're enjoying it? And ultimately, from a fan's perspective, nothing makes a fan happier than knowing the band are having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess
we're also having fun with the fans, as we talked about with the comments and stuff. It's we're just trying to spread some joy, and who doesn't like joy?
Well, that's it, isn't it? And on the theme of positivity and surrounding our happiness in regards to the EP, is that what makes Trollfest happy? Just enjoying what you're doing?
Yeah, I guess music for my personal, again, music is pretty much my life. And there's nothing I love more than that, pretty much. But what makes us happy? It's so many different things, and music in the end, in this setting in Trollfest, is not necessarily what makes us happy, but it's more like we're channeling what makes us happy in life into the music. So the music is more of a representation of the absurd things that live inside of us as a band. I guess it lives its own life, has its own drive. Yeah.
As an individual, then, you touching back on your love of music and being a student, a nerd, as you put it, I get the impression you're going to sleep thinking of music and waking up thinking of music. Is that correct?
That is definitely correct. I had just a couple of years ago, I had a period of about 2 years where I literally fell asleep playing guitar, and dreamt of playing guitar, and it's kind of internalized to the point where when I play guitar, I close my eyes and just see interconnecting shapes, kind of like Tetris. It's kind of crazy.
It's incredible.
I don't, of course, not of course, but some people might not know that I play a lot of different instruments. I do like throat singing and all kinds of shit like that. I'm heavily into folk music, and I'm a Viking enthusiast, which is great being in Norway, because we have such a fantastic access to historical sites and all that.
Of course. Rich history.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Fabian, then, finally, in the vein of the EP and the general feeling of happiness and positivity it brings, send us home. Let's end this interview with a positive message. What could you share?
Do you have to end it already? That's sad. Yeah, well, there's so many things to share with people, but in the end, what I think is most important, for me at least, with this EP and what we're doing right now is, again, spreading joy. There are so many negative vibes in the world in general, not just now, but it's been always, I guess, and choosing to make a positive impact on the world instead of focusing on negativity all the time is not something that only affects you, but something that will be contagious and will make others find it easier to find some joy in life. So spread some joy, enjoy yourselves, don't take yourself too seriously, and be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Be
I think that's a
happy
wonderful
hero.
I think, yeah, be a happy hero. I love that.